I would say probably I don't think that my foundation in logic games is as strong as it should be at this point. I'm having a lot of issues with the in and outs, um, like the question types, and just really finding where I should be. I understand the whole idea of diagramming and breaking down the actual rules and then the inferred rules from the actual um, setup, but then morphing them per question is proving a lot more difficult than I anticipated, because I have a tendency to think that question one or question two still applies and the rules that it introduced still applies at question eight. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to forget the short term changes and alterations to your base diagram. And I that's what I'm the most having trouble with, is separating actually what is setup and what is additional rules and questions.
Sure. So I'll speak to this on two levels. One is the specific, one is the general. So the general would be you could do a timed exam every other week and then use the alternating weekends for working on weak areas. That's one way you could go about it. Or you could say, I'm not going to do any full-length timed exams for a month or two, just focus on basics and then get into the full-length timed exams. As for these in-out grouping logic games specifically, a couple of things you could try. One would be to do several in-out games by type. I have a list in an article on my website called 7 LSAT logic games that repeated. And the first category is these in-out games. So games like The Birds in the Forest, Test 33, Game 2, games like the Photograph game, Test 45, Game 3, Test 58, Game 2, and there are many, many others. And so working on those games by type to really see the commonalities in terms of making long conditional chains, getting used to not going backwards on those arrows and not inferring too much. And then with regard to the issue of forgetting in the middle of the game that those restrictions no longer apply, to me, that's just a fundamental LSAT piece of knowledge to get down, that the general rules hold true constantly, but local limitations for particular questions no longer apply after that question. So if they say, for example, in question number 2, that X is on slot 3, you put X on 3, you see what results, you have a valid hypothetical scenario as a result of that. But going forward, X does not always have to be on 3. That's just something to keep in mind with practice, and I think you'll get it with time. You have enough time to drill that in. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.